Okay. Hello, everybody. That's my cue to get started once we start recording. My name is Harlequin Murray, and I'm one of the senior team leaders here on our team. And it is my great privilege and honor to be able to go and welcome you to this call. If you're new to the call for the first time or new to the team, welcome. We appreciate you being a part of us and look forward to working with you. And I also get to go and introduce my enroller and my sponsor, Miss Ellen Winn. And especially for those of you who are new to DAC and new to our team, let me tell you a little bit about her so you get a feel for where she's coming from. She grew up in the Dallas, Georgia area, which is not in Texas. It's just outside of Atlanta, but she grew up on her family's farm. And once she got out of school, she started working in the restaurant industry. She ended up working for Domino's Pizza for several years and was a regional manager and a training manager with them. And after a few years, she decided, you know what, I'm going to go and start my own restaurant. And she ended up with a couple of pizza restaurants that they were not Domino's, they were her own brand. And after she did that for a while, she got out of that industry and started working a lot in the network marketing industry. And she's been doing that for over 20 years, I believe, or right around that. And I ended up meeting her about 17 years ago, 18 years ago now. So we've known each other for a very long time. But when I met her, she was actually my upline in another network marketing company, but she was also the national training director for that particular company. So she's got a lot of experience in the training arena, in network marketing, and also in the financial services arena, as well as in the being a business owner. She knows what that's like. But anyway, she is currently our senior team leader on our team in the DAC. She's a 1-star in the longevity comp plan, as well as an area director in the DAC comp plan. So without further ado, let me introduce Miss Ellen Winn.
Thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate that so much. And I always love going down memory lane with your introduction. Correction, I started working in the restaurant space when I was 14 years old. My first job, I was part-time at a movie theater nearby, and I ran a concession stand. So a lot of fun, but I learned at an early age that having my own money gave me freedom to make choices and do things that I wasn't able to do when I was dependent on someone else. And I always say that today, that's what freedom is to me, is making my own money, making my own way, and it gives me choices. So hopefully that little nugget there will make you think about the importance of building DAC. I've got some great information tonight. I appreciate you, Harlequin, and your leadership with the team. Harlequin's been with us a little less than a year past my anniversary. I tried to recruit her when I first got started with DAC, and it wasn't a good fit or good timing at that point, but about a year later, she decided that DAC was a good fit. And boy, is it ever, because she is killing it and making really good money here. So real excited to have you on board. So I have a lot of good stuff tonight. If you've got team members that aren't on here right now, I encourage you to send them a text, because they're going to want to be on. We're going to do some recognition that we don't normally do. And they might be missing out on their name getting called out. So let me get us into screen share mode, and I will get us pulled up if I can find that slide.
Good afternoon, Ellen Winn. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. Let me
Bruce
see if I
Campbell,
can get the
I haven't
slideshow
talked
going
to
here.
you in over a year and a half, but I've been recruiting quite a bit. And I've noticed that you've been actually intercepting all the people I'm recruiting in as new agents with David Allen Capital. I appreciate your extra service and help.
Yeah, you bet, Bruce. Good to see you and hear you on here. So I'm going to get us back over to our slideshow. Can you see that there, Harlequin? You
Yeah.
seeing my
Yes, I
screen?
can.
Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so we're going to get rolling. We always start off with team recognition, and this week is no different. We're going to go through the Team Winn recruiting leaderboard, 8/11 through 8/17. We're always a few days behind on that. We're following the schedule that DAC initially started with when they were making announcements on this well over a year ago. All right, so for this week, we had in first place Latoya Porter with 11 new recruits. Congratulations, hitting that #1 spot, Latoya. Great job. In second place, we had Eric Johnson with 6 new recruits. In third place, we had a 3-way tie with Eugene Clapp, Lavonda Goodman, and Angelika Vora, each with 5 new recruits. In fourth place, we had a 4-way tie, each with 3 new recruits: Stephanie Elise, Seneca James, Jamaica Cayo, and Rika Wright. So congratulations to all of you on the left side of the leaderboard. On the right side, we have everyone with 2 new recruits, which is a tie for 5th place. Takiria Barber, Lillian Blackshear, Noel Booker, Lisa Dunning, Kim French, Ashield Hodge, Kayla Joshua, Jamel Reed, Sanyika Rowan, Taisha Smith, Sherry Stovall, Katina Willis, and Charlene Wilson. And we had a whole list of folks that had at least 1 new recruit. So all in all, for the week, we had 71 people have at least 1 new recruit, for a total of 119 new agents joining the team. So our recruiting numbers are down a little bit. I'm going to go through a recruiting challenge here in just a little bit and talk about why now is a great time to be recruiting. Okay, but let's get into some new announcements and new team recognition, and that is folks who have been leveling up in our compensation plan. It used to be that you could level up from DAC 1 to DAC 2 without having to have a lot of requirements to get those promotions in. But David put in new requirements to get to DAC 1 and DAC 2 back on July the 1st. So it's a little bit harder to get those first 2 promotions. So Harlequin and I were talking earlier, and I just thought it might be noteworthy that we start announcing those new promotions. So what I'm going to go through now are folks who have leveled up and have gotten a promotion since that new requirement was put in place on July the 1st. So if you're wondering where to find this information on leveling up and the requirements there, you can go to the Agent Resource Center. And if you don't know how to get there, just go to davidallencapital.com all the way to the bottom of the page. In that blue footer at the bottom of the page, you're going to see a resources tab, and under that resources, you'll see a link over to the Agent Resource Center. Then once that page opens, you're going to see at the very top of the page, you're going to see these big green 1, 2, 3. These are the required trainings that you must attend and really have good understanding and working knowledge of our product before you start talking to clients. If you've been in the business for a while, Bruce popped in here a little bit ago. Bruce has been with us for a few years. So if you've been around for a while and have not gone through these updated videos on business capital training, you definitely want to do that. If you've not seen it since we have our new funnel and our new app sequence training, then you need to go through that so that you can see and understand the processes, the funding requirements, and the communication process that is there for you. But right now, we're going to focus on the compensation chart as we go through the folks that have leveled up. Okay, so Under the big three, you got the video link and the chart link. When you click on that chart, it's going to open up a PDF document. We're going to focus on page 3 of that document because that is where the magic starts happening when you get to DAC 1 and move on through the compensation plan. Because when you get to DAC 1, you're now eligible to start earning matching bonuses on your personal funding commissions and on your team. You're going to earn a 10% matching bonus as DAC 1 and a 15% bonus as DAC 2. So let's take a look at who hit DAC 1. Congratulations to all of you guys that ranked up during this past 2 months. So these are all in alphabetical order, not in a timed order, but in alphabetical order. And then we'll start keeping this current every couple of weeks or so. So our new DAC 1s start at the top with Carlene Penn. She did a testimonial for us last week. Chiquita McLaurin, Chris Holder, CX Bauer, Daisy Augustus, Debbie Morris, Dustin Gutierrez, Yvonne Fragoso, Jaleesa Bray, Jamal Caples, Jayshun Smith, Lakeisha Joyner, Latoya Drummond, Lamar Marshall, Lillian Blackshear, Orlando Darden Jr., Rihanna Greer, Ryan Jackson, Raheem Miller, Sandra Burns, Shanna Thomas, Sharon Walker, Sharonda Bailey, Tara McDuffie, and Yolanda Lewis. So we got a lot of folks getting fundings and moving through. Now we have a lot of people who are getting fundings, but may not have that one client that is necessary to get qualified as a DAC 1, or may not have, and to have a funded client, it has to have at least 6,000 in funded value, okay, and a total of 10,000 funded plus. So those are our DAC 1s. Let's talk about our DAC 2 promotions, and this is where you have to have at least 2 fundings and a total funded value of 20,000 or more. So our DAC 2s, that's a shorter list. We have Arisha John, Erica Sanford. Got her on there twice. Way to go, way to go. John Davis, Makisha Young Brown, Olafemi Olademeji, Shawnee Singfield, Stephanie Crump, Valtina Lewis, and Victoria Hill. All are DAC 2s. A couple of these are really, really close to hitting DAC 4. There is not a DAC 3. It goes from DAC 1 to DAC 2, skips over DAC 3 and goes to DAC 4. So a few on this list are really close, one funding away from that DAC 4 promotion. So congratulations to all of you who have ranked up since the beginning of July.
I'm going to add a correction in here.
Okay.
Orlando Darden is also a DAC 2.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Thank you for correcting that.
No, there
I
had
missed that.
It wasn't listed. David had made an error whenever he sent out the email, but
Got it.
has since been corrected. So
Okay.
congratulations to Orlando as well.
Awesome. Thank you for saying that. And I went through, I had a long list to sort today to pull these out because these promotions aren't really noted in any form or fashion. It's up to us as team leaders to locate and find those promotions. So that's what we did. Thank you, Harlequin. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Orlando, on DAC 2. All right, let's go to the next slide. Harlequin, do you have anybody doing a funding spotlight? We didn't talk about this. I know we've been doing that. If there's someone on who has had a funding and would like to share a testimonial, that would be great.
Yeah, we actually have somebody who last week she was having complications from COVID, but she actually, if we had a DAC 3, she's had that many fundings. She's actually had 4, but 4 or 5, but a couple of them didn't quite meet the requirement to count. So we are going to have Mickey Young Brown. Mickey, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself and just kind of tell us a little bit about the companies that you've been going to and how you've been able to get them to get funding.
Hi everybody, I'm Mickey Young Brown. The companies that I've been fortunate enough to get funding pretty much have been a couple of healthcare companies. And one was also a daycare. Young lady was building another daycare. And there was another one I got. There's a couple more, I think, that's in the loop here somewhere, but home health care seems to be like the really big thing. How I got them, fortunate enough, like I said, I think I said it in the Telegram, if you find a great credit repair specialist and then another great tax preparer that works with a lot of businesses, small businesses, and they're more than welcome. We're more than happy to refer individuals to you. That's been a blessing to me. And, fortunately enough, my credit repair specialist who has referring people to me, she came onto my team. So she's on my team now. She became a DAC 1, Jaquita McLaurin in Virginia. I don't know if she's on here today, but she has been a blessing. And like I tell anybody, if my team wins, then I win, and Rika, who brought me in, then she wins. So that's the attitude that I have, and that I just keep telling everybody, if they win, I win, and then we all win.
Excellent, excellent. Well, congratulations. Good to hear from you. I understood that you weren't feeling well last week, so glad that you're feeling better too.
Thank you.
Mickey, great testimonial, great story, and that is the right mindset. If you're winning, then the business owner is winning, and everybody in DAC is winning, because anytime we have successes here, then the whole company starts succeeding. So way to go. Good job there. I appreciate that. Harlequin, did you have anything else you wanted to say to Mickey before we go back to the slides?
No, just super excited for her, and looking forward to seeing more success. And I know that DAC 4 is just around the corner for you, girl. She already has the volume. She just has to have that one more client count.
Right, that
Be
one
able to
more
qualify.
qualifying client. Yep, she's already over 40,000 for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, I'm gonna go back to the screen share. So we've got a lot of stuff to go through. All right, I mentioned that we're going to talk about a recruiting challenge, okay? Our recruiting numbers have gone down a little bit, and that's typical as we see school starting back in August, and folks are redirecting their attention to their children, and lots of things happening, ending up summer vacations and making that transition. So it's a great time to be focused, taking a focused effort and deliberate effort on a regular basis to recruiting. So what we want to do is offer a recruiting challenge. We're going to have some sort of incentive. I don't know what that is, but I'll tell you this: as you recruit and build your business, it is a huge reward to yourself. You'll see new life come to your business, and you never know when you might find that one person that creates a massive explosion in your organization. Just like Harlequin shared having a conversation with Dee Brown at one of her networking events, and a little bit of time passed, and Dee reached back out to one of Harlequin's agents. He didn't keep her card, but he remembered her talking to him about David Allen Capital, and he reached back out to a friend of his that said, well, she'll definitely know someone who is a part of this company, and she happened to sponsor him, and that happened to be someone on Harlequin's front line. So that created a massive explosion. Mickey is part of that group, and you never know. You could be one person away from massive growth in your business. So our recruiting challenge is this: I want every one of you to commit to talking to a minimum of 2 people a day. That will be 10 people a week that you talk to about DAC if you partake in this challenge, okay? And that's only for those of you that are part-timer with a minimum of 2 people a day. If you've got more time and you're putting more focus into this and don't have the restraints of a full-time job, then I would say talk to a minimum of 5 people a day or 10 people a day, whatever you can work your numbers in. But 10 people a week will turn into at least 1 new recruit, right? You have to have 2 recruits to hit the leaderboard for me to call your name out. each week. So shoot for at least 2 recruits next week so that we'll get to see you on the leaderboard. But we're going to ask you to commit to that. So right now in the chat, if you're willing to commit to doing this 2 a day, having conversations 2 a day and having at least 1 person in play, I want you to hit fire signs in the chat box right now. Let's light up the chat with fire signs. If you can't find the fire, just hit 7s and let me know that you want to participate in this challenge. Awesome. I'm going to go through what the pitch to recruit is in just a minute and show you exactly where to find that. All right, I see lots of fire and lots of 7s coming in. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys, this is going to make a huge difference in your business if you'll do this, okay? And here's what we do. And here's why this is such a need right now. David alluded to the last part of this slide and on his call today, but I pulled this off of our Relevate website. Relevate, our pay card, our checking account, our online checking account. They talk about the pay plan for employers, and they have this little slideshow up. So I pulled these slides from there if any of you are interested in pulling it down. So there's huge financial insecurities in the world today, especially here in the United States. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and 65% of them have financial worries that are impacting their health in a negative manner. And then 44% of Americans, if they had an emergency arise that required more than $400 to take care of that emergency, they would have to borrow the money, because less than 44% of Americans have less than $400 in savings. So I really want you to think about these numbers as you're debating on whether you want to participate in the recruiting challenge or not, because you may have some very close friends that fall into this exact category that only has $400 or less in savings, and they may just be praying for an opportunity to come along, and you hold the key to that with a free opportunity with no cost, no investment to get started, but a huge return on the back end if they'll just go out and start talking to business owners, right? So how do we do that? How do we get that going? I created a video some time ago. It's called Mastering the Invitation, how to invite people to look at our opportunity using the invitation that always works. Now, many of you are great on social media and great at making posts, but I put this together so that anybody and everybody has the opportunity to have a recruiting strategy that works. You can find the link to this video on my Vimeo channel. You can go to vimeo.ellenwinn.link, or if you want to go straight to this video, just go to recruiting.ellenwinn.link. It's .link, not .com, okay? But that'll take you straight over to that video and take you through the recruiting that I learned many years ago from a multi-million-dollar earner with Legal Shield. I've been a part of that company since 2010. He was actually teaching other people, and I learned this invitation through someone that had been working with him. It works, it's simple, and you can ask the questions in any order you want, and it always works the same. All right, so that's on the recruiting challenge, and we'll get together and determine, we'll see what kind of success we're having with it, and we'll determine what the incentive is going to be. But right now, the incentive is that you're helping build your own business, your own book of business, and you're sharing the good news about DAC and the opportunity to help your friends or your acquaintances or family members that might be struggling paycheck to paycheck. So what I want to talk about now is something that David referenced on Giggle, as we just got paid on Giggle fundings last week. He gave us an astonishing number, an astonishing statistic, and that is that 1 out of 6 Giggle fundings are defaulting on the loan or the funding. They're defaulting and not even making the first payment. So let's talk real quick about the different funding pages that we have to market with, and we'll talk about some strategies that'll help you get paid bigger money. Okay, so if you look at your David Allen Capital website, you've got 3 different pages here that all lead to the same form. All of the pages lead to that intuitive Bank Breezy application that funnels them through based on their answers to the questions, is going to funnel them over to the correct lender. The correct lender is based on whether they have a personal or business checking account, how much their monthly revenue is, and part of it is their FICO score, right? So they get diverted to the correct lender based on their answers. Now, that application looks like this. Once they click on apply now, it takes them through this and their answers to time and business, monthly sales, type of bank account. FICO will divert them to Bank Breezy, line of credit, Biddy Advance, or our partners with Giggle. So from left to right, these are your higher end fundings. Bank Breezy, and then Biddy Advance is our mid-level funding, and Giggle is for those lower income businesses or those that are still operating through a personal checking account. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of people are leading with this self-employed funding page for small business and gig workers. And if that's the market that you want to market to, that's okay, but there are some huge risks involved in that, okay? If you're leading with this page, you're targeting the most difficult and highest risk audience to fund. Not all, but a majority of the applicants who are attracted to this page will get sent to our partners at Giggle Finance. The funding range for that financing platform is $400 to a max of $5,000 with an average of $1,100 funding, okay? And at Giggle, we only get paid at 70% of whatever their funded amount is. So if they get $1,100, we're going to get paid as if it is a $770 funding. So 770 times 3% on your first funding is what, $21.21 as your commission. And we don't get paid on these if they don't make their first payment. So as I said, 1 out of 6 of these never make their first payment at all. So we don't get paid by Giggle. So you get 0 money if the client doesn't default. Harlequin, you want to make a comment on this? We were talking today about default and the potential repercussions that the business owner that defaults on the funding could face.
Yeah, I tried looking it up, and if it's over $1,000 that they owe, so even if they get like a $800 or $700 funding, and with the interest it's going to be over $1,000, they can potentially be charged with a felony fraud account or case. But yeah, most states it's over $1,000. And if they purposely do it where they close their bank account, or they tell their bank that to not allow Giggle to take the money out of their account, that's considered fraud, which, causes even more problems. It's one thing to default, but to go and close down the account, it's considered fraud. And unfortunately, we actually have some agents who had gotten funding for their own business, and they have defaulted. And that with those agents, until they get current and start making payments on that, they will not be getting paid their commissions, because that's going to be going towards paying those off. So, you don't, a lot of things to keep in mind is if you go and if you're marked as being as fraud, one, your business you will never be able to get a business, alternative capital business funding, because you get put on the blacklist. They will not do it. The other thing is, it's going to show up on your credit report that you were charged with fraud, and most banks will not lend to you, and your credit score is going to tank. And yes, you can go and dispute that, but with some of these lenders, if you go and say, hey, I dispute this charge, they will answer within those 30 days. I can guarantee that. It's not like, the credit card companies that are, inundated with people trying to dispute charges. With this, they will go and they will charge you and they will go after you and they will press charges. So if you have any clients that, one thing David did mention, if you know that you had a Giggle client that was funded last month and you did not get paid, all of those commission emails went out on Friday. So if you did not receive an email from David Rutz, you can contact support at davidallencapital.com and give the name of the client, and they will let you know if that client is on the fraud list or default list. They will also, and there may also be a situation where they couldn't match up the client to the agent. So that may have also been a situation. So if you know that you had somebody that was funded, but you didn't get paid, you may want to reach out to David or to support, not to David directly.
Right. And if they were funded and you didn't get paid, they could be in the default category for sure.
Right.
Okay, great. Thank you, Harlequin. Appreciate that. All right. So let's talk about this funding page a little bit further. Okay. A few things that you want to note if you're marketing with the self-employed funding page and if your client qualifies at Giggle. The funding amount that a Giggle client will receive is very small. This is not the product you want to lead with if you want to maximize your income as well as move through our compensation plan quickly. As you saw, we were recognizing DAC 1 and DAC 2. You have to have a $6,000 funded value to be able to move and have that count as a client for promotion purposes. So it's not the product that you want to lead with. We receive daily commissions on most of our fundings, but because of the low funding amount, Giggle commissions are only reported to DAC monthly on the 15th for the prior month's fundings. You'll receive your commissions for Giggle clients funded this month around the 17th of next month. So you're always in arrears on those fundings. And that delay is also there in place to make sure that those clients are making that first payment back to Giggle so that they can actually pay the commissions out. Your Giggle clients will all be added together each month and must total $6,000 cumulative funded value for this to count as a customer for you to be amped up and for the rank advancement. And on average, it will take you 6 Giggle clients to count as a customer for amped and rank advancement. Remember, the average Giggle funding is $1,100. So on average, it'll take 6 of those to hit 6,000 in cumulative value. So take it in funding these clients is also going to take as much time or more time for you to help these clients as it does in helping a higher revenue client. Yet the commission is a fraction of what you can earn on larger fundings. As I gave the example, around $21 on an average funding versus 3% of a $40,000 funding at $1,200 commission. Which one do you want to market? I always lead with the business capital page, which is this tab on your website. I think that this page speaks to all business owners and is your best tool if you want to market to a higher revenue business that would qualify for the larger funding amounts through Bank Breezy. Higher revenue businesses have higher approval odds and will also earn you higher commission. So I always lead with this page on any funding conversation. As I said, the Apply Now button goes over to the same application sequence. I market with this page only, and I still get dozens of Giggle applicants coming through on a weekly basis. So this will not deter anyone that you're marketing to, but I think that the self-employed funding page will turn away some of those business owners that are doing $40,000, $50,000, or $100,000. They'll look at it and go, I'm not self-employed. I'm not a gig worker. And they'll move on to another funder. So I recommend you use this page. Just remember at the top, when you click on that button, it's going to say davidallencapital.com/business-capital. You have to add your agent ID to the end of that link after the / so that you get the client to your website, right? So make sure you add your agent ID number to the end of that link if you're going to market with this page. Okay, so that is the end of my slideshow. I'm going to stop share and give an opportunity for questions or comments. If you will go to the raise hand, virtual hand raise at the bottom of the screen, then you can raise your hand if you have questions, or Harlequin, if you see questions in the chat, we can go to those as well. But I have Bruce's hand up. I'm going to go to you first, Bruce. Looks like you're already unmuted. How are you doing out there in California?
I'm doing pretty well. It's pretty hot out here, but we're trying to survive. I've got my beautiful wife. I've been married 43 years, and she's had 4 strokes and a heart attack in the last 2.5 years. All she's been able to do is blow me a kiss in the evening, and that's about it. I'm not able to get any words out of her, but I'm here stuck at home, taking care of my wife and my son. He's also very ill as well. So I'm in a $2 million home trying to make things, make things work. I've been recruiting, but what I really would like to do is actually have you give me a call after the meeting, and I need you to actually set me up with everything I need to allow me to do my own sales. I can recruit agents, and I've done it where in the insurance industry, I hired 1,200 financial planners in 4 months, 4 contracts each. And, did that get me anywhere? No, I got a wooden plaque, but I didn't get paid. And why? Because none of the agents did anything. You can hire 1,000 agents, but that don't mean that you're going to have maybe only 3 or 4 that might actually be doing their job. So what I need to do is I need to put myself to work. I need to actually get on the phone and start doing loans instead of recruiting. So I need you to really follow up with me if you can. I have changed my email address. I need to change that in my back office on David Allen Capital so I could be more plugged in. I do need to have that changed right away if I can. It would, I don't know if you can just jot down my email. It's Bruce Campbell Direct at Gmail.
Yeah, so to get your email changed there, Bruce, you can send an email to support@davidallencapital.com. They will update that immediately on your website and the emails that they send out to you. So support@davidallencapital.com. Make sure you include your agent ID number so they can easily find you, and they will update that for you. But yeah, I would love to talk to you. It's been a long time. I know you were actively engaged when you first got started with us. I'm sorry to hear about your wife, and it seems like you're really blessed to be able to be there at home with her, giving care for her and your son as well. So I'll be happy to work with you. It probably won't be tonight. I'm on East Coast time, and I've been at it all day long. But if we can talk tomorrow, I'll reach out to you and we'll get that conversation started. Okay?
Okay, please do. I really appreciate it. I actually have quite a bit of experience taking companies public on the stock exchange, 10 years. I managed casinos for 10 years. I was the top floor man in the casinos. I wrote the business plans for the roller coasters in Las Vegas back in 1979 for Mr. Prim. So I'm the guy that created the Disneyland theme park for Mr. Prim. I've accomplished quite a few things and had 7 furniture stores. So I did have my own brick and mortar businesses as well. I did quite well with that, but taking companies public, I brought in 18 million for LinkNet Telecommunications within 1 year, just doing a lot of cold calling, all cold calling on penny stock.
Awesome.
So I have a lot of experience as far as, talking to business owners, talking to investors, talking to CPAs and so forth. I would like to just get out there and hit the street myself. So I'm not going to wait for others to do it for me. I know that I've got to do it for myself. So then we can lead by example. If I can do it, you guys can do it. And this is what I'm doing. But I need you to put me on path, if you would, to give me, the ammunition, direct me to where I can get the PDFs and so forth of what I would use as a entry, as a introductory to other business owners who may need help. So I'm
Got
sure
it.
you all, you're the expert. I hear quite a bit about you. And every time I've hired an agent for David on Capital, they say, "Hey, I got an email from Ellen Winn. Who's that?" And I said, "Oh, that lady. I'm telling her all the time, don't interfere with the people I'm recruiting. I can recruit. I mean, I don't need. Do I need your help? Heck yeah! And now I realize I really need your help. So, plug in with me. We'll talk tomorrow." And I look forward to actually getting on track, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks, Bruce, and I look forward to seeing what we can do together. Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Okay,
So much.
got it. All right, I've got Amy. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Amy's got her hand up. There you are. Hey, Amy.
Hi, Ellen. Now I've been moving and everything, and I lost a lot of stuff. As far as stuff I had printed out and what have you. And so when I was going back over the Agent Resource Center, I came across something I hadn't seen before. That was the DAC client relationship sheet. Can you explain how that's supposed to work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really a sheet for you to list your clients. And you just go in and fill out when you've made a contact with someone, you fill them in, and then you follow the columns on there on what your contact date was and so on. I'd have to look at it. I don't use that personally. I use spreadsheets, but that sheet is in there. Harlequin actually helped create that, I believe. David had one version of it, and she edited it and added some to it, and he added that to the Agent Resource Center. But that's really just a way for you to track your clients if you're not a spreadsheet person like I am, so that you've got something that you can print out and make a list of your clients. Or you could also use that to make a list of people that you want to talk to, and then go through and mark them off as you're having the conversation with them. But yeah, that's a great tool back there for you to use and have those in front of you. In fact, David says for every one of those that you have completed, you should get a funding if you've got the client through the process. So we were talking about goals earlier, Amy. There's part of your goal right there, filling out those client relationship sheets.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Good question. Thank you for the question. All right, Harlequin, do you see anything in the chats that we need to address? If not, we'll get ready to wrap up here. I don't see anybody else with their hands up.
No, I don't see any questions in the chat. A couple of quick things, if I can, on the assignment for this week, contacting 2 people a day. You didn't go over what we had talked about as far as what's going to constitute a contact for that. That's somebody that you either personally speak to, you either in person or on the phone, or send an email or a text message, or Facebook Messenger or anything like that. So that's what we're considering a contact, or reaching out to somebody, not just putting something in a group chat and saying, "Oh yeah, I contacted somebody." You have to have some sort of a dialogue between you and the other person. But anyways, yeah, and we do have David Williams with his hand up.
Oh, good. Hey, David.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Good, good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for the inspiration. Appreciate it. I just have a question. I ordered the cards for the drop-off cards, and I noticed that on the back bottom of the card that my agent ID wasn't after davidallencapital.com business / and my number wasn't there. Is that normal? Is that the way it should be? My agent number wasn't after the David Allen Capital.
Did you enter it on the website where it asked you to enter it instead of the X's?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have the new cards yet. Harlequin, do you have those or someone else that?
I haven't received it yet, but whenever you did the proof, did you save the proof?
I may have saved it. I did it online, of course. I may have saved it.
Okay.
I'll check it.
Yeah, because that's one of the things you have to look at whenever you look at the proof. You have to make sure that your agent ID number is listed on there because that would have shown up on the proof. The other thing is, have you checked your QR code to make sure that it's operating correctly?
Well, I did, and it don't appear that the my website came up with my name on it.
Yeah, see, that's something that you're also supposed to check whenever you do the proof. You can go and use your phone and check and make sure that the QR code is working properly, because if it's not, you need to not approve the order. And unfortunately, that's why you look at those proofs, is to make sure that it is correct. And unfortunately, that's on you and they won't replace it.
Well,
Yeah, so-
I understand that, and it's no problem. I did proof it though, because I know I had to put that number there, and that's why I don't understand why it wasn't put on there. But that's okay. I can deal with that.
Yeah, but double check and see if you saved that proof.
Okay.
And I would highly recommend to everybody that whenever you are doing that, save that proof. Usually, I think they email, at least they used to email it to you. With our other vendor that we used to have, they would email the proof as well as show it to you online. So double check and see if you have that, because if you have that and it shows that it's on there, then you can go back to them and say, hey, this is not what I approved. And that way, then it's on them.
Now, the other thing is the agent ID is on the top, of the bottom. So I would think that if this is normal, what they do, they would be able to take that agent ID that's on the top and put it where it's supposed to be. Because I did put it right at the end of David Capital.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, some people do not use the davidallencapital.com / their ID. They use a domain name that they have purchased that they forward it to, which is what Ellen and I recommend that everybody do, because
I see.
it's under $10 to buy a domain name.
I see.
If you use Namecheap, that is. If you go through GoDaddy, it's going to be more than that. But yeah, that's part of the reason why we recommend that, is for things like that. But also, people tend to go and write down the number wrong.
In this case, what I believe happened, they didn't take the number that I had on there, which is my agent number, and put it the way it was supposed to be. And so I need to find verification, but that's no problem. We can work through that. But what I do, I like the fact that people can go on and use the barcode, and that's one of the reasons why I got the card. So when I go talk to business people, they can use the barcode and just go right online. And so when I saw it, I said, is this going to happen the way I thought it was going to happen? And they said, and I just, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is have them write it in. I don't know if that will work, but I'm going to have it write it in.
Do me a favor. Can you take a picture of that and email me your card to workwithellen@gmail.com?
Yes, ma'am.
I think your card is going to be accurate. If you're testing it on your own phone, the browser cookies are probably holding your information in there. So I
Yeah.
would like to look at it for you and confirm one way or another whether your
Oh.
card is accurate or not.
That'll be excellent, Ms. Wynn. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just send me that picture and we'll get to the bottom of it and see
Yes, ma'am.
whether it's correct. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments on that, Harlequin. Did you have
Thank you,
anything else, David?
No, ma'am, I'm excited about getting moving. And I'm so busy with other things. I'm trying to get things orderly and in order so that I can maneuver properly.
You
But
got it.
it's coming. It's coming.
Awesome. Well, you've taken that first step of ordering cards. Now it's just a matter of getting out and having conversations. Those first few conversations are going to be a little clunky and they're going to feel uncomfortable. But if you'll find someone to rehearse with before you actually start talking to business owners and start getting more fluid with your conversation, I think that'll help you too. Do some role plays.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you don't have anybody to talk to, just put a pillow in the chair and pretend like you're talking to a business.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have
Okay.
to- yeah, you don't have to have a live person. Okay, I'm going to lower your hand then, and
Thank
I'm
you.
going to go to Valerie McQueen and ask you to unmute. How are you doing tonight, Valerie?
I am wonderful, Miss Ellen. Thank you so much. You kind of really already answered my question, talking to the last gentleman, actually, because I'm fairly new as well and making this another stream of income for myself. I was just wondering, are there any scripts and tips on how to and where to market the products?
There are. So in the at the top of the Agent Resource Center, you got your big green 1, 2, 3, which are your required trainings.
Okay.
David touches on that in the product video training, number 2, but also underneath those videos in that very first section, right above that very first section, you're going to see the word workbook in blue.
Okay.
There's a Super Saturday workbook. If you'll print that out, when you get about page 49 or so back towards the appendices, there are going to be scripts in there for text messaging, emails,
Okay.
etc. And you can watch along in the video with that in that Super Saturday training. And that is covered extensively there on having conversations with business owners
Okay, great.
and
Thank
who
you
to
so
reach out to. Mhm.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for the question. All right. And I have Cherry up. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hi, good evening.
How
How
are
are
you?
you?
Good.
Good. Regarding the drop cards, I ordered mine last Friday and I got it on Wednesday. What happened is that there is a box at the bottom you have to fill in. It has davidadamcapital.com/business capital. And then there's some pound signs. You're supposed to take those pound signs out and add your ID number. And then when you get the proof, you can see everything that's wrong and you can go back and edit it.
Yes. And what you're referencing there, where you take out the pound sign, I was thinking it was X's, but it's pound sign. When you
Right.
do that, what you type in there doesn't necessarily show up on your card, does it? Or is
Yes,
that just,
yes.
it does? Okay.
Yes,
I
it
know
shows
that
up on the
that's
card.
what they create the QR code from.
Right, that's for
whatever
the
that
QR
web
code,
address is.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
So
Okay.
so is she saying that her number wasn't her agent number wasn't there? And it's
no,
on the
you have to put it in, you have to type it in. Where you see those pound signs, you have to type in your ID number. Take out all the pound signs.
Yeah. Well, I'll still look at your card, David, and we'll figure out what your options are. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sherry. Did you have anything else? Thank you
No,
for
that's
that.
it, sure, okay.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
You bet. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up? Harlequin, anything else in the chat?
Yeah, just 1 second.
I've got Bruce's hand is back up.
Okay, go ahead and take him then.
Yeah, go ahead,
I do
Bruce.
have something.
Yeah, hi, Ellen. I've when I'm recruiting people or I'm signing people up, I've noticed that when they go into the Join Now button and they're filling out the application, it used to have my agent number and my name, automatically at the top, but now it's not there any longer. Is there a reason for that?
No,
Are
Not
you on
unless
your
you-
cell phone doing that?
No, yeah, I am. I'm looking for
Okay.
myself. Correct.
Yeah, if you're on your cell phone, it's not going to be on the top. You'll need to go and click on or tap on the apply, and it will show up on the application. Or turn your phone sideways
There you
and
go.
it'll show up there. There's not enough space. The other thing I found out recently is if you pull down, if you drag the page down a little bit, it will show up at the top. But you can't see it unless you drag down a little bit. It's
Okay.
because of the space issues.
on the mobile device,
Well,
yeah. So
it
as
seems
long as
like
your
the-
name is there in the application, that's the main part.
It seems like the whole entire application is there. And it's just that the boxes are empty where they didn't used to do that before.
Yeah, if it's automatically, does it have your agent ID and your name embedded in the application when they click on join now?
It used to have it that way. Yes. It used to be
But
embedded on it.
it's not there anymore?
Correct.
Okay, then when we talk tomorrow, let's take a look at the link that you're sending out and see what might be going on with that configuration as well, okay?
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
you bet. All right. Thank you for your questions. Anybody else? One last chance before we wrap up. I know we got a lot of folks that were on, some have dropped off. I know when we go past 9 o'clock, people have other meetings to get to. You may be watching on the replay, whether you're here live or on the replay. We appreciate you taking time out to watch this and be a part of our team. And look forward to seeing how many of you are
Ellen?
participating in the challenge next week. Go ahead, Harlequin.
Yeah, you forgot something kind of major, David's announcement on Friday.
Oh yeah, I didn't do a slide for that. You know, as I was doing slides today, my keyboard would not allow me to do any input into the slides. So I was scrambling here the last several minutes preparing these slides, and I didn't get that screenshot posted. So yes, the announcement, I sent out the email with the announcement and also the flyer. It's posted in the David Allen Capital Agents group on Facebook, and the email that I sent out on Saturday showing our new promotion, which is an option for businesses that are doing 50,000 or more a month that have been in business for at least a year and have at least a 650 credit score. Those businesses now have the option to get qualified. It's not their option. Our internal team has the option to try to get them qualified for either monthly or bi-weekly payments. And that's huge because we have a lot of bigger businesses that say, I don't want to do daily payments. I don't want to do weekly payments. So now we've got that option for them. This is a limited time promotion. It's going to be good through the end of September. David said today he hopes that it'll be an ongoing promotion that'll be permanent, but we're doing a test phase right now. As far as you promoting it, you can use the flyer and put that out there to promote, but you don't need to know the specifics. As long as you're targeting businesses that would qualify doing 50,000 or more, our internal team is automatically going to try to get that client qualified for this program if they meet the minimum requirement. So the incentive for you to be marketing this is you're going to earn an extra 1% personal commission. Matching bonuses won't get paid out at the higher rate, but personal commissions on those new clients that qualify for that monthly payback, you'll get an extra 1%. So if you're at the 3% rate, you'll get 4%. If you're at the 6% rate, because you're amped up, you'll get 7% personal commission on those clients. So did I cover all of that, Harlequin? Thank you for the reminder.
Yes, I believe you did. And it looks like Anne Marie may be wanting to raise her hand. She's new. And she put it in the chat that she's got the little hand raised thing. Anne Marie, you can unmute yourself if you do have a question. And you know what? She kept getting kicked off. So, and I think she got kicked off again, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, and it might have just been going, hey, I'm here. All right, well, if that question comes back up, she's got your contact information too, Harlequin, as well as mine, so she can ask those questions of us. All right, I don't see anybody else's hands raised. We're gonna wrap up for the evening. Again, I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you, Harlequin, for being my trusted sidekick as we go through DAC life together from opposite ends of town here in Georgia. It makes it fun when you got some partners out there that want to work with you. So guys, you have a blessed evening. We will see you on Friday Zooms, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, daczoom.com. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next Zoom. Take care.